Visit Australia, home to shitloads of vanishing wonders. The Great Barrier Reef, press freedom, penalty rates. It's also home to a unique array of poisonous parasites. How good is Australia? Ancient land of mysteries. Like, how the fuck are we gonna tackle the climate emergency with these pricks at the helm? And why are we the shit version of New Zealand? And above all, why did Aussies re-elect a government that's fucking them over? We're not sure either. But here at the Australian government, we believe in miracles. Like fake how to vote cards, fake placards, and fake fear campaigns. How good is bullshit? So come on, visit Australia. Thanks to us, each state offers a unique flavour of shit fuckery. WA, where mining companies make billions and pay fuck all taxes. But hey, look at everything they've given back. Quaint ghost towns, unemployment, and a meth epidemic. How good was the mining boom? Just like what's about to happen in Queensland. How good is Adani? Sure, it will kill what's left of the reef and the stacks of jobs it supports, but by the time Queenslanders realise we've sold off their future water and World Heritage sites, we'll be long gone. Dickheads. South Australia, full of annoying shit that threatens our fossil fuel sponsored police state, like their 100% renewable energy target and bloody Rex Patrick. New South Wales, where nightlife, festivals and koalas go to die. How good's the sixth mass extinction? Victoria, home to regrettable scourges like deforestation, transurban and Eddie Maguire. The NT, last remaining wilderness, which we're about to start fracking the shit out of. Also doubles as a prison for Indigenous kids, a test ground for fascist income control policies, and a home for US spy bases to carry out illegal mass surveillance and drone strikes. How good is colonialism, neoliberalism, war? Tasmania, where everyone will escape to when shit hits the fan and then get killed in a bushfire. And lastly, the ACT. Take a tour of Bullshit HQ and don't miss the aptly named Museum of Democracy. So what you waiting for? We've saved you a spot on the beach, we've whitened the reef, Scott's fired up the coal furnaces, Joshy's given our mates a fat tax break, and Dutto's finally collected all 6 Infinity Stones. So where the bloody hell are you? Don't say New Zealand with those woke Kiwi c***s. Visit Australia. How good is shit fuckery? Authorised by Tourism New Zealand.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the sarcastic barman, and welcome.
Well, there we are, guys, live from the giant washing machine in space. This is the Something from Nothing show. How are you doing, Boomer?
I'm really good, Arduin. So did we successfully abduct the human? I believe we aim for sarcastic barman.
Yeah, we have.
I feel funny.
And tell me, so he was a human. He has human specifications. That's good. There were questions as to whether or not we'd be able to get him on board. And how are you from the EIE network, Mr. Barman? You feel funny? Yes.
I feel funny.
For the next hour, you will be aboard an alien spaceship. Don't fear though, because when you are transmitted back down to Earth, you will be totally devoid of any memory of this. Over the next 2 hours, it will only seem to be a minute because of time dilation, but tell us a little bit out here, because right now you are casting your whole transmission out to the galaxy. Tell us something about your life as an Earthling.
Well, first, I've been given this note that says if we don't get likes, then my pets and my testicles can be voided. What the fuck does that mean? I'm really worried. Jesus. But apart from that, I'm feeling okay, I suppose. It's very early in the morning. Well, it's not. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, so I suppose I can't be that lazy. But yeah, going well. Really looking forward to this. Apologies for last week. I was a lazy fuck and didn't get up. So hopefully I'll make up for it this week.
Alcohol is a hell of a drug.
Well,
I was hammered last week. I haven't drunk since.
That did give rise to an interesting new substance we discovered. Now, I believe Arduin came up with the barman theory. What was your theory of barman? What philosophical term?
Oh, that last week to trying to get him to our show, we kidnapped his wife, but he just started laughing. So this week we kidnapped his dogs, and that made him comply.
It sounds about right.
Now, of course, that gave rise to the name of Schrodinger's barman, meaning that he both existed and didn't exist in our stream simultaneously. But I've got to point out, I feel you are more the Higgs barman particle, where you could spontaneously materialise and dematerialise across the dimensions. So now that we've managed to nail you down, and we also turned up to harass your card game last week, and you had put up a gone sign, so we had to run with a rotten old alien movie. Or shall we say a black and white aliens movie. So, oh my God, it's knocked on. So.
I thank you for the invite for that alien movie last week, but I ended up chilling on the sofa with the wife. What were we watching last Sunday?
Well, I bet it was a better movie than we watched.
Apparently, right. I saw on the comments it's one of the worst sci-fi movies ever made. You were watching?
Yes, it was.
Well, yeah. The interesting thing about that movie is they went around and tricked the lady into filming it there and got her to pay the power bill. There was lots of stuff. In fact, the history of the movie itself is better. They basically went and bought a plastic ray gun from the local hardware shop, used gaffer tape on their overalls as space effects, and oh my God, it's worth watching though. It is a good movie.
We still don't know if it was alien zombie or zombie aliens. We still don't know.
Oh, that's not good. You watched it. You should know.
Well, there was one that did look like a mutation of Morticia Adams. I'm glad Morticia got better in the Addams family in the later years. But okay, look, some precedents, guys. Okay, you're probably wondering what this clothes dryer is. Well, it's actually not a clothes dryer. It's a artificial gravity generated in our spaceship. Now, you humans who appear to be monkey mutations or ape descendant life forms are significantly different to people such as Arduin and my good self. Now, as you guys know, the schoolyard of dinosaurs were wiped out 65 million years ago. Now, this is actually not true. And the actual situation was that they had a space program, and they were also very well educated, had the theatre, arts, and quite good entertainment. And what they did is foresaw the meteor on its way and proceeded to set up and pack up and piss off, of course, destroying any evidence and doing such a great job that there is still no evidence being found today. Now, Arduin and I happen to be descendants from the dinosaur exodus. And it's amazing in that we both appear to have evolved into exactly humanoid.
Not the mama!
Arduin and I are somewhat superior in our intelligence, and we are the best at making love because, as Earth women know, shapeshifters do make the best lovers. Wink, wink. And yet you guys seem to have evolved into virtually humanoid from the monkey side of the DNA tree, where you guys kind of think about your penis and ginies a little too much. So we're here to reveal all of the stuff we've been doing for the last, since 1947. We have been pranking the shit out of you Earthlings, because it's what we do. So anyway, if anyone would like to pose any of the questions, we are going to come clean about all of our antics and shenanigans and the way we have just dropped everything on you guys over the last 73 Earth years, but in our terms, it's 370 odd days. So, if anyone would like to pose some questions, we'd be more than happy to answer them. What do you think, Adam? What do you got to lead us in?
First we have a story of one of our victims. about how he was abducted by aliens and how he could only remember that after an intense hypnotism. The damn hypnotism, man. Yeah.
You broke it.
Yeah, I broke it.
It's getting worse.
Well, while he's breaking it, it's okay as long as we maintain Earth orbit. I'll give us a little bit of other stuff too. What happens after the reactor core meltdown? As mentioned, we've been stuck in low Earth orbit since 1947 now. We actually have a bullshitium drive, which relies on bullshit as fuel. Now, we've been needing to do this, but with you humans, we've been dependent on the source of bullshit to fill up our tanks and get out of here, which will happen soon. But
the last 4 years, we went from almost zero to almost completely full in the last 4 years.
Oh yeah, yes, we have had some good bullshitium come up nowadays. So the bullshit drive will be up and running. We'll be achieving escape velocity and getting out of this little rather cringy section of the universe. We might take some Earthlings with us.
I have to ask, does a lot of that bullshit come from Twitter? In which case, are you going to start running low on bullshit now?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we have had problems, but trust us, Flat Earth has served us well. We have virtually an infinite supply of bullshitium. Thank you to your good selves and all you guys who have brought the Flat Earthers to the surface, because, oh, mate, it stinks up here, so that planet must be really rancid by now down there.
But anyway, I've been abducted by aliens by some dude.
Oh dear, some dude. Oh, it's a buzz.
12 years old. It's back in the late 70s. My parents were fighting, and I didn't want to be at home, so I went to my best friend's house. We went to the living room and started watching television. The rest of the family kind of did whatever it was they were doing. They all eventually went to bed. My friend started talking about this nightmare he had. He looked at me and started to yell, your eyes, they turned solid black. And he jumped up off the couch. He struggled for air for a moment and then just crumbled on the floor between the coffee table and the couch. It scared me. I jumped out of the chair. I turned to my left, and I happened to look to my right. For whatever reason, I don't know. There was a black digital clock on top of the television, and it said midnight right on the dot. It wasn't 12:01 or anything like that. It was right on the dot. So I took the 3 or 4 steps across the living room, skirted around the coffee table, bent down to touch my friend's shoulder to shake him to see what was going on. And as soon as I made contact with
he knows a lot of details about that memory from a long time ago.
I have to ask, why the fuck would you look at the clock? That's my first thing. I looked at the clock. It was exactly midnight. Really now? Really now? I mean, the chances of that are slim enough. But the fact you looked at the clock, I'm calling bullshit. Just no.
Yeah, exactly.
Whenever you actually look at the clock and see 12 o'clock, you think, oh no, it's been unplugged. You never believe that time. So, yeah. Just exactly midnight too. I think that's interesting.
And of course, he was in a high emotional state because his parents were fucking having a fight.
No, his parents were probably fucking.
Well, yeah, they were probably generally having a fight, and then it was resolved like 5 minutes after he was home, after he left home, and then their parents were anger fucking each other.
Yeah. I'm also going to say, if he's at his mate's house or whatever, and it's midnight, everyone else has gone to bed, they probably either pop some pills or something, smoke the wrong type of thing.
Yeah, it sounds something. It sounds like something like that. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
I was just going to say, had some tequila and ate the worm.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the mushrooms in the backyard. In fact, one of the areas where UFOs get sighted in Victoria is actually the mushroom capital of Victoria as well. So, coincidence? Of course, it has to be. It can't be aliens. That would mean they exist.
With him, he was suddenly standing next to me, to my left, which didn't make any sense. It was a very odd transition, but he was suddenly standing and he was screaming, "What the hell happened? What the hell happened?" And I tried to calm him down. I thought he was going to wake up his parents because I thought at that time it was midnight. I turned back around. I looked at the TV again. I saw the clock above it. It was exactly 6 o'clock in the morning.
Who keeps a clock on top of their fucking TV?
We know that the phenomenon is very, very widespread around the world. People think that this is an American phenomenon. It is not. I've worked with people from Africa and Asia and Latin America and Europe and so forth who are abductees. I'll say the same thing all around the world. It does not matter where they're from.
36 years later, I decided one day I wanted to find out what happened to me. I just happened to be on some particular media. I saw Yvonne Smith.
Hang on, 36 years later?
Yeah.
How old is this dude, and how old was he when this shit happened? And how the fuck are you remembering 36 years later when you go to the doctor? But not only that, how many years after that is this? So, because he's got to be in his mid-40s, so he probably was 10 at the time, 9 at the time. Fuck off, you remembering these details, you wank spanner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And by the way, the scientist guy is also full of shit, as you'll learn during the video.
Yeah.
So I went to see Yvonne. We talked for a while so she got an idea of, who I am. It took 2 trips, 2 hypnotic sessions to get all of the details that I was going to get. She took me back to that night where I was at my friend's house and asked me to just describe everything that
I'm sorry, but what is with this camera angle? They have such a nice studio when they film from up front, and then they take this camera angle. There's like a wall outlet there, and like some I guess it's anti-fire tubing or something like that.
They can't afford us around.
Yeah. That happens to the best of us.
That's fine. Then don't film someone from that angle.
Any details.
Are you suggesting the integrity of these cameramen may be questionable? No.
Possibility.
The first thing I saw was a T-shaped thing. It was shaped like a T, and I got really upset. And I started
Mr.
yelling.
T and the T-Force!
The T-shaped thing turned out to be a...
I get upset with big-shaped
it's a
things
kind of
all the
bed,
time.
but it's not really a bed. It's more like a
They
platform.
just make me so wild.
And and I was laying on this thing, and my arms were out to my sides. My wrists were bound to it somehow, but I couldn't feel anything on my wrists. I just couldn't raise them off of it, but I could move my arms, just couldn't move the wrist. My ankles were the same way. Inside of this thing that I was in, it was metal, it was a domed ceiling, and there was a being standing next to me. It wore metal mesh clothing. It was robe-like, like cloth, but it was metal. And the reason why I know this is because the sleeve dragged across my face, and I could see light glinting off the fibers. They had instruments that came out of the ceiling. One of those instruments was looked like a black arm of some kind, and it unfolded out of the ceiling. The tip of it looked a lot like a stinger. Like
playing
the tip
Skyrim, half asleep. He was dreaming while playing a video game. That's my bad. Big trip, big joint. Let's play some vids. Who hasn't done that?
I was just having a quick look. So he's saying 36 years ago, and we're guessing the video and everything was a couple of years before that. So we'll say for, around 1984, 1985, when you've got such films like Dune, Runaway, Starman, The Last Starfighter, The Philadelphia Experiment, Star Trek. It's a time for sci-fi stuff. The Toxic fucking Avenger. There's other alien films going around that decade. So it's not something I can say is not going to be you just got tired and drunk and are remembering and having a nightmare from watching too many movies you shouldn't have probably watched at your age. It's just, no. Something came out the fucking ceiling.
I'll let you know. Look, what happened is when we actually fell into low Earth orbit, we had a section of our craft that actually had the zoo, and that was some of the, well, shall we say, dinosaur descendant life humanoid forms that weren't quite up to scratch, and we used to point and laugh. Now, that ship actually detached and crashed to Earth. A lot of them did survive, and some of them you may actually know. Most of the Hollywood producers around back then were sent down. Now, they did have a chip implanted, and Arnold and I basically, after a few bottles of, well, whatever, space wine and a couple of space joints, pretty much used to download all these movie ideas into their heads. So we've been quietly manipulating the masses through Hollywood from this actual spaceship you're in, Barman. So you can feel quite honoured to be in what has been the creative hub of humanity for the last half a century at least, 75 years almost.
It seems like Kai Weasel has been abducted by aliens as well, but he claims that it might also be his marriage.
We've got an implant for that. We've got a flash drive we can send to you. I can't tell you where to put it, or maybe the missus can show you where, but we do have a flash drive update for you.
Yeah.
Scorpion, if you will. They inserted it into my left nostril and pressed it all the way up into my head. It was excruciating pain. They brought in another device. It was cylindric. It had brass, looked like brass-like metal and darker metals in layers. And they placed it on my left ear and inserted something into my ear. And again, I heard crunching noises. They didn't seem to be either aware or concerned about inflicting the pain. It's just a process to them. It seemed very mechanical to them. Their movements were slow and methodic. It seemed like they didn't make mistakes.
People often ask me whether there's any consistency in abduction accounts. The consistency is mind-boggling. What people were talked about primarily is the procedures done to them when they were taken on board and placed on a table, and a quote examination was administered
Where
to them
else are
by
you going to be
gray
put on
aliens, which had to do with looking at
We
their
weren't
poking
fucking
around with their
examining them, man.
abdomen.
We were fucking doing more than that.
Yeah.
God, they were good nights.
Where else are you going to be put onto? If you're not placed onto a table or bed-like thing, what else are they going to put you on? The fucking floor? Of course that's going to be connected. You all think aliens are examining you, so there's going to be an examination. These are shit we see in films and X-Files and everything like that. So yes, they're going to be consistent things on there, because it's what you see in modern pop culture fucking media and all that shit, you dickhead. Fuck my life.
Yes, exactly.
Well said.
I work with people who have MDs, who are psychiatrists, who are psychologists, PhD psychologists, people who are university professors, and people who have never been able to hold a job and dropped out of school at a young age, and everybody in between. The vast majority of material that they talk about has never been in the public domain. Without consistency, there is no phenomenon, and it is the consistency that keeps coming back.
Yeah, and there is actually a reason for that. We have that in another video, but that's coming up, where they actually give a good explanation for everything. So
Keeps me coming back, in fact.
They had slightly larger than normal looking heads. They had black eyes. They had wrinkles on their face, which I thought was interesting. They appeared old. Their skin color was, it didn't look healthy. It looked grayish in color. They removed my stomach contents.
hey, I take care of that skin every fucking day. I feel kind of insulted, and I don't look old.
Yeah.
You do look old. The big question is, though, why are you awake?
Look, I did actually mention these, because that was actually Uncle Tony who he's talking about. And when Uncle Tony heard this back, he actually found these remarks quite hurtful, because to have someone who's basically, look, I mean, he ain't any oil painting, is he? To have him belittling Uncle Tony the way he did, it was actually quite hurtful, and I feel Uncle Tony was a little offended, and this man should really apologise. But of course, he's up for a more than usual, a particularly interesting anal probing. Anyway, we'll continue on. And Uncle Tom remembers him.
Oh dear.
Whatever I was eating, they took that stuff out. They took me to some place. At some point, there was no gravity. I was floating, but I was held down to the table by these points. And they took me to a place where they removed
There's no
me from
gravity.
the spacecraft. And I'm assuming it's a spacecraft. I don't know what else to call it. I didn't see it from the outside, only from the inside. And they stood me in front of a machine. It looked like a building. It was the biggest thing I'd ever seen. It was covered in blue lights, and it had a lot of little moving parts on it. I don't know what it was doing. Then they took me away from there. All I remember was coming back into the atmosphere. I remember feeling gravity pulling me to the table, the weight of everything coming back to me. And then there's just a blur. I don't really have any, I can't find out exactly what happened. But I ended up right back where I was standing, where my friend was, and he was already.
So
you can't remember what happened. That was the fucking best party of your life, man. You did so much drugs with us, and you can't even remember.
It's whole there was no gravity thing, and I was floating. Well, you weren't floating when you were on the first table originally, but you were floating on the second one. So either the aliens have got artificial gravity, or the first bit of the entire examination took place on Earth. These are your two choices at this point. And it doesn't really add up that they'd suddenly, if they have artificial gravity, they suddenly not have it. Or if it all took place on Earth, why would they take you into space to be the giant machine that's so big, it's the biggest thing you've ever seen, but yet no fucking person has ever seen this shit from Earth with the telescopes, looking up at sky at night and flashing, hey, that's a new fucking star, what's that? Oh, it's disappeared. Oh my god, it was an alien. Let's phone people and shit like that. No. This is why we only ever see pictures of UFOs that are taken on phones from the early 2000s, and the quality is fucking bollocks.
You did bring up only two options. Now, there were two options you did also overlook, though, which I must draw attention to. Option 3, magic mushrooms in Bali. This is a common thing. People go to Bali and have magic mushrooms and jump in the swimming pool. This occurs commonly. Option 4, we just fuck with his head because we don't like him. many overlooked option.
I'm kind of done with this shit, Ed. Are you guys? What about you guys?
Yeah.
I almost want to gong. He's a boring fuck. We have got much better ones coming. We don't need him as filler, that's one thing. If we're resorting to this for filler, mate, we're pretty sad.
Yeah.
And we are pretty sad.
Thanks to curiosity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was weird. Why did you wake me up early in the morning to subject me to this crap? I want fun crap.
Right. Well, no, we've got some better ones coming. Now, there was a question in the chat saying that, do aliens have all sorts of special sex organs from Jin? Answer, yes, we do, Jin. We have many different techniques, of which most of your Earth women are quite familiar with. They do know the difference, but they just don't let on because that would make the male ego on the planet rather fragile, if not even more fragile. So, yes, we do have many variations of sex organs. Any other questions you guys got for us aliens? We're going to throw it open, guys.
Yeah.
Mate, no question is too hard. We will answer them all.
Exactly. And in the meantime, instead of some stupid shit, I thought, let's watch something interesting, something that might shed a different light on alien abductions. No, this is actually kind of good.
Been abducted by aliens. You know.
Oh,
Every now and again, somebody claims to have been abducted by aliens. You know about this. You're on the internet. Considering we don't have any substantial evidence of life beyond Earth, almost everyone tends to dismiss these claims, but hear me out. Maybe we shouldn't, because once you start looking at these stories and where they come from, you begin to realize that there might be something really interesting happening here psychologically. Ultimately, researchers don't believe these claims can tell us anything about life in space, but they can tell us how our brains try to explain the unexplainable. First, to be clear, experts have found that on average, people who claim to have been abducted by aliens aren't any more likely to have a mental illness that changes their perception of reality. Instead, supposed encounters might be a result of a common psychological phenomenon, false memories. Essentially, someone has a weird experience and then they misremember it. And sometimes that misremembering is dramatic. The experience can vary, but these days researchers tend to focus on one, sleep paralysis. This is kind of what it sounds like. You wake up in the middle of the night, but your body won't move. And not only that, but you're also prone to some pretty specific types of hallucinations. Often people feel there's a threat.
Right, I can remember one when I was younger.
You weren't younger. You were a clone.
Yeah, no. Yeah, when my human clone was younger, I remember that, and I don't know how I came up with that, because my bedroom was like on the second floor, and I remember thinking that I wake up because someone. A burglar is coming in through my bedroom window on the second floor. Like, I don't know why a burglar would do that, and because he would have had to move my parents' car from the driveway, then put up a ladder, and instead of just breaking into the door. So, and I actually shouted alarm. I actually woke up my parents screaming bloody murder because I was convinced that someone was sneaking in through my bedroom window.
Well, to add to that, this is a really nice one, but this is a bit of incoming science stuff here, but with your 5 stages of sleep, the REM sleep, which is where you dream, when you don't have a certain amount of REM sleep or it's upset, what you go into is a stage where you will actually be dreaming in your conscious state. So someone who's really sleep deprived is actually probably hallucinating and seeing, I don't know, the spiders or whatever, because this is apparently your dream thoughts will overcome your consciousness. So when you wake up in this sleep paralysis, you are technically in your REM sleep phase, but you are more inclined to have a hallucination of some kind, usually off the lighter influences in the room. So the shadows will look like a person in there. But this whole thing, Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud did a lot of sleep study, and yeah, we dream some weird fucking shit.
Yeah.
And this is one of them.
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't woken up and seen something in the corner of the room and gone, what the fuck is that? And as your brain actually comes to lifeness, you go, oh, fuck, it's just the wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a reason why you freak out at first. I mean,
threatening intruder in their room, but they might also feel bodily sensations like pressure on their chests, difficulty breathing, or like they're floating around. Some people have even reported sensations of bliss. This all probably happens when normal parts of sleep, like paralysis and dreaming, don't wear off once you wake up. So it's usually not anything to worry about. But if someone has never heard of sleep paralysis, this could be a really scary experience, and it's easy to see why they'd need an explanation for it. And at least here in the Western world, there's a pretty obvious one. Like if you wake up with a being looming over you and you're terrified and spinning around like gravity doesn't matter, well, that kind of sounds like stories about aliens. Still, there's a pretty big jump between I woke up feeling weird and I woke up on a spaceship, which I can describe to you in detail. Researchers believe this jump happens when people lean into those cultural narratives about ET. Maybe because they want to believe, or maybe because someone asks them targeted questions. In any case, they can end up convincing themselves that they were abducted by aliens and can construct detailed false memories of their experience. There's even some evidence to
yeah, I reckon, and part of this is also like the people, the person that had hypnotized him was someone who is for the previous video. It was someone who was into that shit already, right?
Yeah.
So I can imagine that she might have asked some leading questions that a real therapist probably wouldn't have done.
Yeah, I wouldn't say not so much into it, but knows the monetary value of convincing these people they're abducted by aliens and they're going to need more and more hypnotic therapy off her or him so that they can regress their memories more and know more about these aliens. Yes, you'll have to come back every week for the rest of your life at £550 per hour.
Of course, and that's why they're probably asking some leading questions.
Okay, well, I've got a beauty to add onto this, but back in the days when we had Polaroid cameras, now film was actually quite expensive, or the pictures themselves. Now, me being about an 11, 12-year-old, rather, shall we say, pranky little kid, I grabbed a little brass wheel out of a Meccano set and tied some fishing line to it and hung it up on what was the clothesline. And now I couldn't get the right angle, so I turned the camera sideways and took a snap. And the way this picture came out, after the Polaroid dispenses it and you wiggled it off, the bit of fishing line refracted in such a way that it looked like an exhaust rocket, and the photo being sideways and the camera being sideways, it lined up. I took it inside and showed it to my older brothers who were about 13 and 18, and they swallowed the prank beautifully. They showed it to my mum and she swallowed it, and suddenly they thought I'd actually really snapped a UFO from the backyard. And there was a lot of this shit on TV at the time too. And it wasn't until 2 days later, my brother-in-law, who was a copper, came over and they showed him the picture, and I had to own up and tell him it was a prank. But, oh, did I milk that? And I go, so funny. Being an 11-year-old, you're sort of chuckling in the background, but they wanted it to be, like there was no critical thinking. Everyone just wanted this to be a UFO. I still think about that, and they'll probably kill me now they'll put that out publicly. I think I'm cut out of the family now, if I had one. The Earth family, that is. Wow, I nearly slipped then.
Wait, you weren't cut out yet?
Back this up, like a 2002 study from the Journal of Abnormal Psychology. In it, researchers compared false recall and false recognition among 3 groups. One group never claimed to have been abducted by aliens. The second claimed they had been, but they couldn't remember it. And the third group also claimed they were abducted, but they had supposedly recovered their memories after something like therapy. In the experiment, each group was played a list of words, then were given a short distraction task to stop them from rehearsing what they heard. After 30 seconds, they were asked to jot down all the words they could remember. Next, everyone was presented with another list of words, some that they had just heard, some that had similar meanings, and some that were brand new. Their challenge was to look at this list and recall and recognize the words they'd been played at the beginning of the experiment. The results showed that the group who claimed to remember their abductions was significantly worse at this. They were more likely to misremember the original words they'd been played, often confusing them with similar words from the new list. What happened here was likely misattribution.
That's a good test.
That is a really good test. I also kind of had to laugh about the people, the group that claimed to be abducted, but not being able to remember it.
Yeah, I've been abducted. I've got no memory of being abducted, but I was definitely abducted. Because for some reason, when I woke up, my wife wasn't there, and she said, "Yes, we were all weird last night, but strangely, my neighbour Tom was downstairs, and I don't know what was going on there." Fucking weirdo.
Of course, but then we woke up and read about it in the third page of the Sunday Press and thought, aliens abducted me. When I saw that, we knew it was bullshit. But up until then, we were pretty convinced.
Yeah. Just a few films about alien abduction and things, so it's not as if they can't say they're getting some input from somewhere. For fuck's sake.
No, exactly. And of course... And of course, mushrooms. Lots of mushrooms.
Lots of mushrooms, yeah. Let's fair. If alien abductions were real, these people would soon disappear to black sites where they would either be interrogated from there, or their psychiatrist would be replaced with someone who would make them forget these memories with more hypnotherapy. You will forget all about aliens. You have never heard about aliens. We definitely did not put a probe up your nose. Shut the fuck up. Go back to work. Pay more taxes and vote for Trump. I mean,
yeah.
I somehow feel you may know too much, Mr. Barman. You may not be going back to Earth later tonight.
I know nothing.
Yeah, that's good. Well, you will after we finish with you anyway. Mind you, an interesting one they do bring up. I've found there is a direct correlation. Now that Pornhub's premium membership is free, I am dreaming excessively of boobies. I don't know how that can possibly be. I may need to visit a shrink.
Don't worry. Correlation doesn't imply causation, man.
No. I'll go with that. Pornhub's finally caught on that no one actually pays for porn anyway, so they may as well make it all free.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you told me. That's you were the one that told me that, Barman. Oh, sorry, damn. I've got to stop doing that, haven't I? Okay. I don't think they pick it up.
Or what the researchers called a source monitoring error. These participants had probably heard those words at some point, but they couldn't remember when, so they assumed they'd been played at the beginning of the experiment. This study was small. It is not easy to find a bunch of people who are willing to participate in your experiments and who remember being abducted by aliens. But the authors suggest this kind of misattribution has a big role to play in the creation of false memories. For example, if someone is thinking back on their sleep paralysis experience and wondering if it might have been aliens, they could remember things that weren't there, like the flash of a creature they once saw in a movie. Other studies about eyewitness testimony have reached similar conclusions too. They've highlighted just how easily events that didn't happen can be incorporated into memories, either from other sources or by leading questions. Like with other things in the field, more studies would help confirm this idea. But ultimately, this points to the fact that when we're trying to explain why weird things happen to us, our brains can propose explanations that aren't entirely true. And along the way, we can end up believing them. So while these stories can't teach us much about ET, they can teach us about another kind of life, the human kind, here on Earth, the kind that lives in your body. Consciousness. If all this talk about aliens has gotten you...
Yep. And that was the explanation. Now there's some break about stuff. But yeah.
I do like those ones.
Yeah.
There's a great human behaviour one getting around on the internet where I think that the room is like a dentist or a doctor's waiting room, and there are 2 paid actors in there at the start, and people are coming in and sitting down waiting for whatever, and there's an alarm goes off where the 2 actors start standing up each time the alarm goes off, and then it goes off again, they sit down, and they start setting this up 3 or 4 times, and the other people start doing it, and then it sets up a situation where as people keep coming in, we have this inbuilt situation within us to fit in with the tribe. So you do whatever it's doing, even though it feels strange. And when the actors had got up and left, these people kept on going through this standing up and sitting down ritual. And that happens over and over again in psychological experiments in virtually every university, where you will lie what you know is wrong and totally incorrect if it's to agree with the rest of the tribe, because you don't want to feel outcast. So that overrides, which is a bit of a strange thing. Us dinosaur descendants don't do that. We're clever.
Yeah, and about false memories. I actually had a false memory. I vividly remember a time that me and my parents were having dinner, and my mom and then my dad and I were making kind of fun of my mom, and my mom ran off crying, and I ran after her, and I still remember it like a memory. Just that I know that it's a false memory because I've talked to my parents about it, and my parents were like, "What are you talking about? That didn't happen." So, but yeah, and that's the weird thing about a false memory. I have it in my brain as a memory, but I know it's fake.
That's weird.
Was it the whole thing, the fight as well, or was it just running out?
No, just they're running out crying. It's flashes of the joking around. Like I can't remember where it was about. We were joking around, and then it's like I kind of remember running after my mom, and my mom was crying, and she had her handkerchief to her eyes, which should indicate to me that that's fake, because my mom doesn't dip her eyes with a handkerchief when she's crying. She doesn't. So that should already be an indicator for me that it's fake, because I probably got dipping your eyes with a handkerchief from movies and television series. But yeah. But it's really weird because I know it didn't happen.
Nowadays.
Yeah. Well, besides that. So, are you ready for some Apex science?
Aha.
Ooh, Apex science. Interesting.
You know it's going to be good when it's got Apex in it.
That channel is a gift from us.
We made that up when we were drunk.
Yeah.
Space to Kill a Night.
There's a channel where all the crazy stuff. So yeah, there we go. No, wrong one. This one.
Transmission from Apex TV.
God, you drive a fucking spaceship. You struggle with OBS. Okay.
I'm not looking for publicity.
Sorry, that was it.
You're not looking for publicity. People have a way of finding out. I guess that's why you guys are here recording this. My name is Grant Maysfield. I live in Whitcliffe,
Turn it up.
Tennessee, but when I was abducted, I was with my wife
we can't quite hear
down
it.
there by Axe Lake, which is, not too far from where we live.
That's good.
That's it.
Very good.
Anyways, it was New
My
Year,
bad.
and everyone had been talking
Because the
about
intro
the
music
millennium
was
and all
like
this,
really loud.
I guess uncertainty about 2000, the Y2K thing. I remember seeing on the news stuff about robots taking over the world. That had me and Jan a little upset. I think we went down there to get away from it, clear our heads, just be with each other.
So he saw something, some bullshit on TV about robots taking over the world, and they're like 99.99% of the people seeing that being like, okay, going on with their lives. They were upset and they had to bail out to go somewhere quiet.
Yeah, so this is happening on Millennium Eve, year 2000, for the New Year's Eve. The time when more people in the world are going to be looking up at the fucking sky as giant exploding things go off all the time. Great time to fly about in a UFO abducting people. Really perfect time.
It was. It was, exactly. Look, there was also a situation back in the 50s where they were doing a radio play of War of the Worlds in the US, and people actually believed it. I think Orson Welles got exiled from the US. There was furor and a panic. They were believing that there were aliens in someone's backyard, and it was a radio play. Since then, you've got to say at the start, this is bullshit. Yeah, this is bullshit. We're not really reporting this.
But we were actually there.
Shh. Maybe.
Yeah. But something happened when we were out there. Something definitely happened. I remember this bright white light over the water. I don't remember what we were doing at the time. I think just sitting.
Like fireworks, maybe? I don't know.
By the fire, looking at the sky or something.
Yeah.
But I glanced out at the lake, and this thing was, kind of sucked you in. I couldn't keep my eyes off this thing. Couldn't even turn to my wife. That's how powerful it was. And I heard this voice in my head. This kind of whisper. Like something was talking to my mind.
Like lots of drugs.
It said, Grant, please come with us. I can't imagine I said no, but I don't remember. All I remember was this guy in a black suit with black sunglasses leaning over me with this blinding white light all around him.
It was the
Cubs. All I can remember. And that's all I know. Everything else was just blank. I woke up the next morning next to Chan, and we both kind of had these marks on our arms. Like needle marks, how you get after a shot or something. And that really freaked us out more than anything. Luckily, Jan's sister's boyfriend is a doctor. He kind of had us do some tests and lab work. Said we looked good, so I trust him. I'm still alive, but dang, not a day goes by I don't think about that night and try and jog my memory for more pieces of what happened.
You're actually trying to remember stuff. Yeah, that usually works out fine.
Now, this was a tricky one. I actually did do the file report on this. I went and looked it up and remembered. Apparently, their uncle was over there with his new moonshine. He got out of the night without his sight, but those two survived. They just had a big night on I think it was Grandpappy or Uncle Pappy's, Uncle Auntie, whatever. Someone's moonshine was the cause of that particular incurrence.
It sounds right. And say, yes, we saw people in a black suit and black glasses. Yeah, this is 3 years after the first Men in Black film came out. I would think if there were really Men in Black, after the films came out, would they change their outfits, or would they just play on the fact there's been a big film? Go, no, you're all just imagining shit. Look, there's a movie. Was one a grumpy old white guy and one a really hip, cool black guy? I think they were.
Oh shit!
Yep.
The Men in Black movie, the Men in Black movie happened. Now we have to be the man in rose-colored Hawaii shirts.
Okay, now I haven't researched this one up properly, but I believe after Macbeth was taken on the road, witch burnings and witch sightings dramatically increased. So there is always this thing where what's in the public mind suddenly gets them all going. Tony Regime reckons it's an urban myth about the War of the Worlds. That's a possibility because I base my information on a movie that I saw when I was about 15. And they said that that's what happened, that Orson was exiled. So I don't know about the urban myth bit because they claimed in the movie it was true. And I'd heard other things, Tony. So we'll get our researchers onto that and we'll confirm or deny. Or
and aside from that, I hyping up the effect to the media. Hyping the effect to the media, I can completely imagine the media like blowing up the effects of something like that. I mean,
yeah. Well, the Telegraph says the War of the World panic was a myth, but then I've got other articles that do say because it was 1938 and all the worry of war about to happen that some people did Not that it was an alien one, but hearing like, oh yeah, there's gunfire and things. Oh my god, yeah, quick, run.
Well, what I can imagine is that, of course, there was maybe like a couple of people that panicked, you know, and maybe their panic dragged a couple of people in with their panic, and so some weird local journalist reported about it in a nothing newspaper, and like the bigger newspapers picked up on it and made it like some huge thing, like huge panic in Nowheresville about the movie, you know. The radio play, sorry.
Well, the other thing too, though, what did happen, this is actually sort of on the same topic. We had two famous poets here in Australia, one called Banjo Patterson, the other called Henry Lawson, both well over 100-year-old material and both well known. They agreed to start a public fight with each other through the newspaper in order to get promotion of both of their poems. So media manipulation is definitely, this is horse and cart days. So that's definitely not a thing that's only new. Media, stuffing in the journos, that's perfect advertising when you think about it. And journos aren't easily misled, are they? They were chasing a scoop.
Yeah, well, because they have to, because, you know, the advertisers of the newspaper want to sell newspapers, and do you sell newspapers like newspapers like with telling that there wasn't any panic? No, of course not. You sell newspapers by saying that there was mass panic.
In fact, a common one they do now is when a football player sneezes at training, they suddenly put up magpie player flu scare, because that header or that catch. When they see that, you're going to sell another 400 newspapers. Imagine in England, Manchester United star striker could be out. That's going to sell papers. They need to know one way or the other.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and Rupert, yep.
What do you think? I guess it was already over.
Did we come back just for that little bit?
Yeah, no, I completely, yeah, there we go. I thought there was a little bit more, but that's already it. This video.
John Rapp's also bringing up that he heard the radio station reported on it to create the panic story. That does make a lot of sense, actually. Yeah. You report on something you've already done, self-promo, gets people back, yep. Catches win matches.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. We report that people panicked, more people will want to listen to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Like if you say like, well, yeah, we did this radio play and no one really responded to it, so well, we're gonna try again. Like no one's gonna care.
No. These nutters.
You know, after all this crazy, I kind of need a whiz break for a moment. How about you, Boomer?
I reckon that's probably a good idea too. And you know what? This draws attention to the fact that I completely forgot to write a segue for this one. So I'm just going to say I somehow need I need a new computer, and I've heard Pentiums aren't a bad thing. And that's about it, mate, because I've been into the space weed a little too much. So, what other wonderful little things have we got coming up in our ad break?
I think I have an ad for that. It's about it's about technology that wowed the aliens. So it has to be the newest and best technology there is around.
Now, dude, we've had this problem for the last 74 years. When you say the aliens, do you mean us or do you mean them? No,
the weird guys from other planets that keep coming to Earth and mess with us and then have a drink with us and we laugh. You know, those guys.
Right, you mean Boris Johnson and his friends? Okay. Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you.
Exactly. So we see you in. This one is about a minute or 4. So see you back then.
I'll see you in 4.
Well, I've got a. Okay. Well, I've got a colostomy bag in the nappies.
Pentium. Discover the most amazing digital music and video with the Intel Pentium 4 processor, the center of your digital world.
Behold the bounty of Earth. This is the cube of Rubik. This simple puzzle was actually considered unsolvable by the humans.
Did they not have brains?
Simple ones. Now, this was apparently a 21st century torture device.
How long would they keep them strapped in there?
Sometimes hours at a time. Pretty gruesome. And over here we have their alphabet. It was called emoji. Few symbols could express the vast extent of their emotion. They had chia pets, just like we do. And this is the white and gold dress that caused the Civil War. This is Scott BYO. But most amazing of all are the avocados from Mexico. They're always in season, so you can enjoy them all year long. Anybody want to feed Scott BYO? It's included in the price of admission. No?
I mean, he double dipped. He'll regenerate.
No, he won't. He was a quad mogurt.
Avocados from Mexico.
Change the face of digital photography with the Intel Pentium 4 processor, the center of your digital world.
The ultimate freshness is your winning play. It'll give you the strength to make it all the way. Nobody wants to hear this story again.
Now anyone can be a digital DJ with the Intel Pentium 4 processor, the center of your digital world.
Pizza Hut makes the best pizza in the entire universe, but they won't tell you that. I've been marooned on this planet for a while now. You are an impressive race. Your children know excellent hiding places. You have an abundance of fingers, a moon that isn't scary, and games that don't end in fire. You have strong bones, excellent immune systems, and oceans that are not filled with lava, crimes that are not punishable by being crushed, and you're not put off by the size of my head. And your pizza is astounding, even by the standards of the infinite. You figured out how to combine a grilled cheese sandwich with a Pizza Hut pizza. Surely interstellar travel will soon follow, and then I can finally get back home. Round, round like home. The grilled cheese stuffed crust pizza. Proof that no one out-pizzas the Hut.
And there we are. Back again.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, you just flew through.
That did went very fast, but my timer on the video timer said that video is 4 minutes long. So yeah, man.
And there must be this time dilation stuff. It just seemed like about half a minute to me. Oh my god. Okay. So
the quickest.
That was the Pentium ad.
Yeah. Let me check it in. 4 minutes and 3 seconds.
I reckon we lost an ad or two.
No, he's back.
A couple of ads in there. Really? Okay. Sorry, I'm checking my set list now. You've kind of caught me out. Oh my goodness. Okay. Mind you, that
because they were such good ads. That's what it was. I'm kind of happy. I kind of had it with the serious stuff, man.
Yeah, bring up the stupid.
Yeah, I've kind of had it with the stupid stuff. Let's watch something fun. I forgot to add one in the set list, Boomer, but I'll bring it up anyway. It's it's actually a fun one because it kind of shows. Let's just see. I kind of like this.
It's the doorbell camera video that's raising a lot of questions today. A man walks out of a house, and in an instant, it looks like he's beamed up to outer space. Now the guy in the video is coming to Inside Edition to tell us what's really going on.
Are you witnessing an alien abduction? A homeowner in Houston walks out his front door, then with a flash of light, it appears he's beamed up to outer space. Look again. So, did the man really go missing? Were you abducted?
Yes, he did.
I got back home for dinner.
Where were you?
I can't talk about it right now, so...
All joking aside, Larry Lewis explains what's really behind this eerie video.
I think it got caught up in the recording, and for whatever the loop got stuck.
So it stopped recording, and you had walked out of frame, and it looked like you disappeared.
Right.
Mystery solved.
Yeah,
I get nutters who will use that clip and say, "Look, here's someone getting abducted by aliens." No.
Yeah, exactly. I quite like this one for that reason because it's it's one of those videos where people point at and say see, and yeah.
And the actual truth of the matter is, yes, we did abduct him. We loaded him up with, I think that might have been, wasn't Space Tequila, it was probably Space Scotch, a couple of numbers, and sent him back down, and we reprogrammed him rather successfully.
Yeah.
So he's another success story.
I'm just looking at chat. Nora Batty, wow, that's a good taxi service. It really is.
But yeah,
people pay for their Uber.
I was thinking, like, let's just have a laugh. Let's just watch some fun stuff. So, what is it? Is it the one about how to tell you're abducted video? Yeah, I think it is, right? How to know you've been abducted?
It is, but this is not. This is what actually happens. This is the way it goes. This is the truth. This is a genuine documentary film from inside our establishment here. So let's see what the people have to say.
No, that's the other one. This is the...
Oh, okay.
Aloha.
All right. Sorry, this is not.
Welcome to PSI HTV.
Ah,
have you ever wondered
okay.
if you've been abducted by aliens? Well, I know I have, because people keep telling me I'm out of this world. Lucky for us, we have the most talented, hardworking, charming man here to tell me if I have been abducted by aliens.
Thank you for that fine introduction, Madonna, and my name is Jared.
You're welcome, and thank you for feeding me those beers for me to say that.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Let's get started.
Oh, awesome.
We have downloaded a survey from a very well-respected website on the internet, and you can too by clicking on this link, just like Darren has, to follow along. When we reach the end of this survey, we are going to be able to determine whether or not you have been abducted by aliens, or what the odds are of you being abducted by aliens are. First question. Do you have unexpected nosebleeds?
That's personal.
Just answer the question.
Yes.
Who doesn't have an unexpected
Do you feel like
nosebleed?
you're being watched?
I don't think any nosebleed
Do
is
you crave
expected.
citrus fruits a lot?
Yes.
Does your mouth taste
Oh,
like
I get a
chemicals
few.
or metal?
No.
I get nosebleeds after I give people too big a grief. I expect those.
Can you go back 20 seconds? What did you say? Does your mouth taste like mouth or something?
Yes.
Do you feel like you're being watched?
Yes.
Do you crave citrus fruits a lot?
Yes.
Does your mouth taste like chemicals or metal?
No.
It smells like it.
Yes.
Do you wake up in the middle of night for no reason?
Yes.
Are you either obsessed with or scared of aliens?
Yes.
Do you feel like you have psychic abilities? Do you dream of being operated?
Yes. I'm dreamy.
Do you have unexpected marks on your body?
Yes.
Are you prone to sleep?
Yes.
Do your ears ring frequently?
Yes.
Do you often feel like you're going crazy?
Yes.
We all think so too.
Yes.
Do you wake up sore for no reason?
Yes, because of Mark.
Have you developed a fear of the dark all of a sudden? Do you have memories of feeling paralyzed?
Yes.
Are you easily startled?
No.
Hey, TT guy, you got the link.
Whose phone is that?
Yes.
Whose phone was that?
Sorry. My bad.
Do you have distant memories of being probed?
Yes. And they're not distant. Or memories.
That's just not true.
Have you lost time in your life that you can't account for?
Yes.
Do you believe that you have seen a UFO?
Yes.
Do you have dreams of animals eating you?
Yes. Mark's an animal.
Do you feel like you have an understanding of the world and a special mission in life? Do you have an irrational fear of the dark or a wooden area?
I wouldn't.
Well,
Uh,
that's true.
Yes.
Have you ever had an out-of-body experience?
Yes.
Do you see flashes of light that other people don't see? Are you obsessed with the end of the world and huge disasters?
What is a disaster?
Oh, your hair would be an example.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, Madonna, you have said yes to everything, which means that you have been abducted by an alien.
Oh, come on. Are you serious? All knows. What's the guy gonna do? What's the guy gonna do? I never touched her.
Okay, yeah. Let's just wrap up.
Somebody get him a cleaner.
Just wrap. Thank you for watching PSI's HTV.
Watching
Yeah, it's
PSI.
over.
So if you want to find out if you're abducted, please click on the link right here.
Oh, that was good. That was good. I like the TT guy in chat. Is this a prelude to a bad porno? It really did feel like it at some points.
Yeah. Oh, poor Mark. Poor Mark.
I have come to clean the dome.
Well, you can find the dome
Come in, TT
here.
guy, you got the
Bend
link.
over.
Well, on the other hand, is we are
TT guy,
about
come in and...
we are about to play the last video.
Okay, all right.
The last video.
Yeah, we're not a very long show.
But I need more stupid in
No,
my
we'd like
life.
Okay. We'll try to give you some more.
Well, we have actually have footage from our hidden cameras about how some of our esteemed colleagues perform an alien research. How we research the humans. It's
So fear not.
Yeah.
Don't struggle. You will only hurt yourself.
So it's Dave. Is this your first abduction, Dave?
You're an alien?
Nope. Pretty sure you're the alien, Dave. Just messing with you. How's your day been so far? I know
That's
you're
good.
nervous, but I've done a million of these, okay? You're gonna be fine.
What is happening?
So, Earth. Do you know, Karen?
What?
From Earth? Karen, I think?
There are a lot of Karens.
Okay, figured worth a shot, huh? Okay, and could you cough for me? Good. Hold your breath. Good. And
Do you know Karen? So she's kind of a bitch. She's kind of a bitch. She's kind of difficult. Wanted to talk to our supreme commander for some reason. Said it was her right not to cough. Well, he was a real hassle. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Hold your blood.
Okay.
What? All right, and look over here for me. And look over here. Okay, nice. And look into this dimension. And into this one. I don't see anything. Oh, shame. So weather, huh? You guys have that?
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, what is this all about? Why am I being abducted? Oh, it's just a routine checkup to see if human beings qualify as
Oh, they always
intelligent
ask that
life.
one too. Fucking, they're all so sick.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Okay, how about this?
Ow! Oh, why is he screaming?
Yeah. I hate that tone.
Ah, motherfucker.
This is quite good. I like things like this.
Great. Now let's get you out of that skin. Don't be
I
shy.
couldn't hear a thing.
Oh, right, human. Sorry. Think. Okay, what do we got here? Checks out. And smile. Great. Ugh. Typical. So does Earth get Clarabon's biggest flinks? Love that show. That's hilarious.
I don't get cable.
Like Gorchops always get himself.
That's my favorite show, man.
Yeah, me too. I think Earth Series 2020 is pretty good too.
Oh,
it really got good. Earth Series
2020.
2010. that
I'm
was
so
shite, but 2020 was awesome.
I'm so sad that it's over.
Yeah.
I hope that 2021
You know what's
is
funny is how the coronavirus itself actually discovered that each little thing was actually the same size as a magatard brain. I was actually quite astounded by that.
Well, you know, I don't know if you saw the spoilers for 2021.
Don't say spiders.
No.
They're the spoilers. The spoilers.
Spoilers. I thought you said spiders.
Yeah.
Spoilers are fine.
From what I could read in the spoilers and could see from the trailers, 2021 is going to be. It's going to be insane, man. It's going to be really insane. It's going to be even crazier than 2020.
We're not going to confirm or deny giant spiders. We're not going to confirm or deny Harvey Weinstein getting acquitted. We're not going to confirm or deny that Donald Trump and David Attenborough are the same person. None of those are going to be confirmed or denied. 2021, mate. Fucking big.
Oh, fuck my life.
Okay, let's continue. This ad's too good.
Yeah, I mean,
Tony.
One spoiler is that some guy named Toni Morrison or something like that, or is going to take over the world.
Toni Morrison, right? Yeah. We didn't confirm or deny that, did we?
What is it? Right. This may be a little difficult to hear. Okay, Dave?
Give it to me straight.
Dave, I'm afraid you can't teleport.
Right, I never could teleport.
Right, on Earth, but on Andromeda, you won't be able to.
Well, I want a second opinion.
Well, look, you're welcome to try another abduction, but I've dealt with many people who have gone on to live full, happy lives without the ability to hop around space-time. I think you can learn to live without it.
So, did I pass, or...?
Oh, no. Humans are idiots. But hey, that's not the only way we measure these things, okay? Human beings are miraculous creatures, so fragile, yet so resilient. Their existence shouldn't work, but somehow, for now, it does.
Gar is so sentimental. Gar is so sentimental.
I think it's a pay increase.
He always
Human
breaks the
beings,
news so
though,
well, doesn't he?
Not intelligent life are somehow still capable of love and expression, beauty. Human beings are like the universe looking back on itself. Wow.
Beautiful. Thank you. I'm never gonna forget that.
And tracking chip installed, and memory wipe complete.
Another one.
And that is what I appreciate about Dave. You know, he can be very sentimental, but he's always professional.
That was
well,
quite funny.
I've seen him in the operating theatre, and I would beg to differ there. But I mean, as long as he doesn't do any major important surgery on you, I think he's actually a very good doctor. Probably one of our best, other than the surgery bit.
Yeah.
I think surgery should be a big part of being a doctor, though. Especially if he's actually doing surgery.
Yeah, but he's such a nice guy, and that makes up for it all. Sure, the body count sucks, but you know, he's such a nice guy.
Look, we can go down this path about how many bodies he's killed and all those things like that, and it's pretty much he's single-handedly nearly wiped us all out. But he does make a damn fine taco. And I must say, if for anything, it is for his ability to cook the best taco on the ship, I would say.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People try to sue him, and you know, even in the courtroom, people are like, you know what? He's such a nice guy. It's okay. I can make another daughter.
That's right. Yep. Yeah.
For God's sake. You're all crazy.
It's getting worse.
Just like, I didn't think it was possible, but it definitely is getting worse.
You know, before it gets really bad, maybe we should leave the people with the knowledge that you know, we might one day abduct them too, and we might treat them the same way. If they have any questions before we leave them behind, then in the meantime,
I'll do is, I'll just jump in and let them know that they've participated in this whole misinformation segment. Now, you will wake up shortly after this with no memory whatsoever, but that's okay. You get to relearn it all over again. But don't forget to like and subscribe and all those usual things. But something I do miss is once we achieve enough bullshitium to get to escape velocity to do the jump, I am looking forward to getting back to Andromeda, because as we know, those Andromeda girls are very, very comforting and most hospitable. And the ale's pretty good too. So although Earthwomen, we've enjoyed our time here, it'll be probably a couple of weeks, which will be 3 of your Earth years. But yeah, we've enjoyed pranking you bastards, and I'm sure some aliens will come back and do it in future generations. Until when, well, you did manage to get rid of Trump.
Only just.
Well, and I find it so hilarious that he's not only a one-term president. That's one of the like handful of presidents that were a one-term president. He's also the only one that has been impeached twice.
Yeah.
And no blowjob.
And no blowjob. And not even about a blowjob.
I think he's got impeached for something actually serious.
Yes.
Yeah. And also, what I've got to bring up with you is that I'm getting you as a retirement present for a successful mission. You'll be getting a telepathic abacus, because it is the thought that counts. and for any of those humans out there, I've got watch it, mate. I'm getting worse. And I've got another tip for humans when you're at the beach. If you actually pick up a living crab and hold it up to your ear, you will hear the sound of a crab attacking your ear. So try that one next time in summertime. You'll enjoy that.
For fuck's sake. So, Barbara, do you have anything to shill to the audience?
I'm going to be on later this evening on Agree to Disagree, debating the death penalty. Obviously, we've got poker as well this evening. I'm going to shout out for a good friend of mine, Steaming Cup of Reason. I'll just drop the link now. He's got a show on in about just over an hour from now on his channel, Life on the Flip Side, the second episode.
Let me give you mods.
Quick, mod my thing. Approve my post.
There we go. No, I didn't even get a request to, so you have to post it again.
Oh, for fuck's
But
sake.
now you're mod, so.
Hey, there we go. There we go.
There you go. Beautiful.
Oh, good. So yeah, that's the link
Wonderful.
for that. That starts in about an hour. And yeah, poker tonight. So I don't know if Boom was going to still be alive by then. We may have shouted at him for subjecting my brain to such stupidity, but then I won't remember after I've been returned. So it's all good.
Correct. So I will be there, but you won't know that I'll be there because you don't know whether I've told you. But yes, I shall be there. I'm going to get up just to give you grief.
Oh,
You've had
God.
3 weeks off, buddy. Have I got some for you? Oh, yeah.
I've had
You're gonna
more
get
than
it back
3
in
weeks
droves.
off. It's been awesome. Oh, it's been so relaxing.
Nice. Nice. Yeah.
Yes.
We really miss you during the last poker of the year, man.
I've got to have some time off every so often.
Yeah, you're right. So.
But apart from that, thank you for having me on. I'm glad I woke up for it. It's been a good show.
Thank you for coming on.
Yes.
And
we will probably return.
Of course, a shout out to the EIE network in general, and Sarcastic Garment's own little channel. Always a shout out to our old father, Fight the Flat Earth.
Yes.
Do we have any other channels that we want to shout out, Boomer?
Oh, I don't know. Just all the other ones that have got loads and loads of subs, like Aussie Man Reviews, a lazy 5 million, like he needs it. Juice Media, wonderful bunch of people. They do need a sub if you don't do Juice Media. Excellent ads, cutting edge. We have a show coming up next week, and we're covering, believe it or not, Weed on Earth. This is going to be a show about what happened with marijuana, or as we used to know it, cannabis sativa, back in the 20s up until now. It is going to be a beauty. The subject itself is how it's economically fucked the planet now. So the weed one next week is going to be excellent, and we need to get some people because we don't know anyone who's smoked any weed, so we need a couple of test cases. So if there's someone out there who may have know someone who smoked it, we need to interview them. So if you could just DM me their contact details and preferably how good their dope is, I'd be more than happy to drop around and discuss it with them. So
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a good show coming up next week anyway, guys.
Yeah, and thanks for coming, everyone. See you on the flip side.
See you later, Earthlings. Nanu, nanu, nanu.
Bye, 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 bye.
What? Oh.